everybody, we just got the new Resonator Red Dragon Archfiend reveals. Figured covering it for you guys since you're probably very interested in my thoughts on it. And I know it's gonna be a while until it comes to Master Duel unless they pull a fast one on us and just release it super early, which I kinda hope. It would be absolutely insane if they release it the same time they release it in the OCG. That would be absolute peak. Anyways, dreaming aside, we have Darkness Resonator here, which is a very useful brick. It is still a brick, mind you, but it is a very useful brick because this now allows us to obtain an extra normal summon for our Soul Resonator or Chain Resonator or even a Crimson Resonator, depending on how we do our plays. But much more important than all of that, if you just got Nibiru and you have no real play, you can search your Resonator, but what's that gonna do? You already used your normal summon, right? Well, search Darkness Resonator. You know what? You just summon him, make him level 1 with his third effect, and now you can make an Auxilia, and that's full Centurion combo even though you got Nibiru. So better than ending on nothing. Very solid. Also, if you had to open with Trudea plays, then you can kind of get that normal summon back, right? That's really nice. Power of Ice Dragon. We're probably going to be running 3 of this. I'm not sure if this justifies running 3 Crimson Gaias. It actually might, just because this is such a good target to search from Crimson Gaia, and just allowing more universal searches for cards that mention Red Dragon Archfiend just seems really good now with this support. This is a very good turn starter, because you have to either control no monsters, or you have to have only Dark Synchro monsters. So, if you either extend it to a certain point, then you can use it as an extender, or you can just use it as your opener. And since we can get back a normal summon, it's not that much of a panic situation, because if we get to a stage where we want to use like Crimson Resonator, we can still normal summon it at the very least. Fiend Peace Golem looks like overall solid extender for Resonator standards, for the reason to be running 3 Crimson Gaia, by the way. We're probably running a single copy of this that could be super clutch. Let's say Bone Archfiend got impulsed. Fiend Peace Golem saves the day. Let's say it got impulsed and destroyed. Well, we can even bring it back now when we make the Red Dragon Archfiend our monster that mentions it, the new one, hint hint. Anyways, then we get the Bone Archfiend level modulation effect that can maybe send Vision and add a Spell or Trap, and we can do so many things with that, right? You also only need to control Fiend Tuner. That's the only requirement. Like, if you control other stuff, it's fine. Just as long as there's a Fiend Tuner down, you can summon it. It can unbrick your Uvur Loop, assuming we still run Uvur Loop here. Just because it can level modulate, it can be any level between 3 and 5 U2s, basically. And honestly, like, if you do it with the Uvur Loop, right, then you get the new guy, you do a search, and then you now summon back the Uvur Loop with this guy's effect. And then you make Auxilia, easy peasy, right? It's full Centurion combo. I just see many good ways for this to either save the day or extend into a Centurion combo. Like level 3 Soul Resonator with a negated level 4 Bone, right? Also just makes Centurion with this guy. So I see him being very useful in the hand as long as you have something else to go with him. So very solid extender. And now for our new end board super sick boss monster. At least that's what I would like to say. But this guy is garbage and a brick. Like, I don't see him being useful. Like, if he was a Synchro monster in the extra deck, he would actually be goated, like, with these effects. Like, let's remove the last effect and say it's a Red Over Dragon one of, like, cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effect, right? And then you have the other 2 effects. This guy would be insane. Like, requiring, like, 1 or more tuners and then a Red Dragon Archfiend, right? There you go. Then you have him where he can use, like, up to, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, or 4 Resonators, right? And then you just have the Red Dragon Archfiend, you get the super cool boss monster from your extra deck. We're not in that cool world where that happens. We had a world where you have to run 3 bricks, potentially more, to justify this guy. You have to run an Assault mode activate, then you have to run, well, this guy, and if you open it in your hand, your Assault mode is, like, unusable, right? Then you probably have to run Earthbound Immortal Red Nova, and that's also a brick, right? Then you have to run also Red Nova Dragon in your extra deck that you might not otherwise want to do. I think it could be a cool card to, like, in a lower power level format to meme around with, or if you want to do an Assault mode deck, I think it's very useful there. But just for the main IDA playstyle, no, it's not good. Now to possibly the coolest card out of the bunch, my personal favorite, the Crimson King. It's a Red Dragon Archfiend doing the Jack Atlas pose or whatever, or doing a Jack Atlas pose, I suppose, whatever you want to call it. I think this might be the best card out of the bunch. It literally gives us Resonator engine on command, or like Red Dragon Archfiend engine on command, right? Just lets us access all our engine, just as long as we can synchro summon it. You might be like, well, but don't you need your cards to summon it? Well, we can now access both Centurion with Red Dragon Archfiend engine, but we can also access Red Dragon Archfiend engine with the Centurion, either by going immediate, like the Primera with the token at level 4 into him, or maybe we do this at the end of our normal combo where we we summon the Crimson King at the end, or maybe we do it earlier and then we summon Scarlet at the end, right? There are many different plays there, but the thing is, let's say we only open Centurion. Well, now we can summon this guy either on our own turn to extend further. I'm not really sure what possible plays we can do yet, but we can do some crazy stuff, I know. And then alternatively, let's say we go for the Centurion playstyle, like just Auxilia and pass, right? We can make this on our next turn, or like on their turn or whatever, and then we still have our resonator engine at our disposal. Let's say we get full lost or max seed, right? In the current situation, we would just make a Scarlet with Red Zone and Crimson Gaia and pass, at least if we're playing reasonably. Some of us might be insane and play into max seed, we don't talk about that. This guy's crazy because he adds the new trap potentially in this scenario where we have full lost or max seed, and then we have the Red Zone, the Crimson Gaia, his effect to like bounce off, make a Red Dragon Archfiend that can't be destroyed, that has 6k attack, and then on top of that we have the new trap with Red Zone pop. So it just seems like we are very good into maxi full loss now because of this guy existing. On top of all things else, like it just seems like such a crazy custom card for us, honestly. Also something really cool, this guy is immune to Veilers or any other hand traps or monster effect that would target to negate him, right? This is something worth mentioning. And to possibly the most controversial card, Ame no Crimson Blade Dragon no Mitsurugi, because it literally has the effect search Habakiri. That's why I'm calling it that right there. So, it has ethical uses. We search Lobelian. We already run that in our deck, so obviously we would search Lobelian, right? And then everything is fine. Maybe Liviania, and I don't know what the intended target is. Maybe I think the Assault Mode Crimson Blader that can do some stuff when it's in hand or something. I think that's the intended target, but instead of that, they made it kind of universal for anything that cannot be normal summoned and set. So, that is Mitsurugi Habakiri Searcher. You can also do fun stuff like Protoss. Yeah, you can now search Protoss and Protoss lock Turbo even. You can use the Soul Resonator Graveyard effect to protect your own board, and then the Protoss Dark locks your opponent. Very fun. Very, very fun. Or you can do the Mitsurugi stuff, or you can be ethical and do Liviania Lubellian, which is probably not as good as Protoss. Crimson Call. I don't know, this card seems awful. Maybe we run a single copy. It's a bit bricky, it's a bit much bricky, but maybe the Crimson King searches it and it can do some cool stuff. I'm not too sure. I feel like they focus too much in that Labyrinth should not be able to search their furniture with this card. So they added like this whole thing of needing a Red Dragon Archfiend to search your deck for level 4 lower fiend monster. But like we can do that with Soul Resonator, right? But it's like, I mean, Labyrinth already used that, so they don't want Labyrinth to not even commit a normal summon and get that effect, right? That's obviously what's going on here. So they made this card very weak. I don't know if it's actually useful, if we actually run a copy of it, but I could easily see us cutting this card entirely. The in-graveyard effect is not something to really write home about either. Yeah, we don't need this to win the game, but thanks, I guess. I don't know, it just doesn't seem as useful. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's cracked, maybe I'm just not seeing the big picture, but it just looks awful. Finally, the Ruler's Rumbling. This is gonna be our anti-Maxi, possibly Nibiru, and definitely Fuvalos line. So, what can we do here? Well, if we got Nibiru, it allows us to special summon back when they have special summoned one monster, right? Let's say they special summon 3 or more, then, well, we are getting to make all our Red Dragon Archfiends basically towers. They are unaffected by the effects, and then if we did the safe line on the Maxi with the Crimson King, with Red Zone Gaia and this card, then the 6k Red Dragon Archfiend we summoned is 6k towers that is immune to the activated effects, right? Seems pretty damn good. And then if they've summoned 5 or more times, we can change all of their stuff face down, so assuming it's not a massive link deck that at 5 summons already have 2 strong links that we can't really deal with, right? Then, hey, we can flip down their board and maybe we win from that. Let's say they have negates. Hey, maybe we can wait for 10 summons if our monster is strong enough, right? We can wait for 10 summons, and then we can activate it, and then they don't get to respond in response to it, right? So I think this card has a lot of uses for when we are in a bad state and we're trying to win the game, and it actually allows us that chance to claim a game that we could otherwise have lost. So I think this might unironically be one of the, like, when we actually get to playing Master Duel, this might be one of the better cards just because it actually gives us an answer to Maxi Fuvalos. Even if it's not the best answer, this is actually better answer than what we already have, and it might actually let us survive the turn, which is the most important thing. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you again next time.